Rookie Ace here. Today I'm going to show you how to mount gimbals for Wings of Glory miniatures. Here's what you'll need. A pack of gimbal mounts. You can order bags of these from the fantastic Aerodrome Accessories store. Right now they sell bags of them for about $7. Plastic altitude stands. 4 of these come with any Wings of Glory model you order, but you can also buy packs of 50 for about $5. A small cutting tool capable of cutting plastic and metal. I use a Dremel 7300 with 426 fiberglass cutting wheels. The drill and cutting wheels are fairly cheap. Even though they won't stand up to heavy-duty crafts though, they'll work just fine for what we'll be using them for. Super glue, a pair of pliers. I'd also recommend safety glasses. Whenever you're cutting something with a tool, they're good to have. Okay, let's get started. We'll do the simplest part first, gluing the magnetic mounts onto the altitude stands. As you can see here, I've covered my work area to protect it from the super glue. This is a good idea because if excess glue gets onto your table, it will leach all the color out of it. First, you take one altitude stand and one of the magnetic mounts. You can see them here. They're quite small actually. Next, you take a little glue and you just drop it on top of the peg right here. And you put it on the mount like that. Looks like it's sticking to my fingers a little bit. I always try to make sure that it's centered before it dries. That way it doesn't look too off kilter. Then you let it dry for 5 to 10 minutes. One warning, if you plan to glue lots of mounts to stands at once, make sure that you set them to dry far enough apart from each other. Until the glue is completely dry, the magnets will otherwise rip each other off their pegs. Now we have come to the more difficult part, mounting the gimbals. Gimbals are the tiny metal balls that magnet to the magnetic mounts. There are 2 ways to attach these gimbals to your models, and I have tried both. The first way is to cut the pegs off your Wings of Glory models, drill a small indentation for the gimbal to sit in, and then superglue it into place. I personally don't like doing this because cutting the peg off your models often scrapes the paint from the underside and diminishes their resale value. However, mounting the gimbal directly on the plane works well for unofficial models, such as the ones you can buy from Shapeways, because they often don't have pegs to start with. The other way to do it would be to mount the gimbals on pegs instead of the models themselves. I really like this concept because then anyone can have the fun of playing with gimbal mounts without having to alter their planes. And this is the method that I'm going to demonstrate today. So here we are, ready to mount our gimbal. To begin, we need to cut the plastic stand down to a more manageable size. The reason I like to do this is because it reduces the leverage between the model and the mounting peg, allowing the plane to better stay in the position you put it in. To do this, you need to take your pliers and hold the peg securely, like so. Then you take your cutting tool and slowly cut the peg in half. Again, I would recommend that you wear safety glasses as you do this. Then you can trim off the excess plastic right here. And now you have half a peg. The next step is to take a little hand drill, or any type of drill, I prefer to use a hand drill, and create a small indentation for your gimbal to sit in. That should be enough right there. Then you take your super glue and apply just a dab. Just a dab. Then finally, you take your gimbal and place it right on top there where we drilled. Now all we have to do is let it dry. One more thing I like to do with my gimbals once they're finished drying is to lightly sand them. This is a good final touch that helps them hold the models in the positions you put them in better. And that is it. You now have a set of gimbal mounts that anyone can use with their Wings of Glory miniatures.